Well, hello YouTube. I don't know when's the last time I did this? In weeks. I might have gone like a month, honestly. I'm not taking face cam today because like I can't be bothered to like look presentable, to be honest. But I want to do like 6 to 10-ish minute video, mainly focusing on GME. I might touch on other stuff, but I mean, the daily video stuff I do on Discord, and so a little plug as always if you do want to trade with us and have daily Elliott wave charts and videos and all that good stuff, you know what to do. But what we're gonna be doing today is covering from the last video, and to be honest, I don't exactly remember what we were covering. I was saying loss of this 19 point whatever it was, 18.88, right? We lost this, and though it changed the long-term count, not necessarily dramatically, but we'd be looking at something along the lines of this now. And like there are a few possible interpretations, but we're looking at it from the perspective that it has bottomed. And I've like tweeted little chart snippets here and there, but what would give us more confidence in having definitely bottomed would be clearing this supposed wave 1 low here at 2189, because I mean, I do these videos a lot, but if we're looking at the yellow degree here, and so another possibility is this is still a 4 like this, but if we do get above this 2189, then that would prove wrong the idea of a 4, because 4 cannot come into the territory of your 1 in yellow as such. And so we got close to it on Friday. I don't know the exact high. We were watching for, on Friday we were looking for a fail between 2113 and 2191. We got 2111, right? So we might not be done, but I think best case scenario, what I would like to see would be a push up above it's this level here, right? So I'll mark this on my chart for you guys, and I'll clear off these EMAs, indicators, and all this because it doesn't really do us that much good. But mark it as such, and that's what we'll be looking to see hit. So we want to see 21.9, and if that hits, that more or less solidifies that we have bottomed, and that would be the sign to look to long the pullback with stops below this low here at 1541. Not that you guys use stop losses or listen to me for financial advice, because I do not give that. But just from a wave point of view, it looks like we are moving up in 5, and we've been covering bits and pieces of this as we have been moving up, expecting this area to hold as a low. I mean, I could probably go in and find the thing, but I don't even. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't fucking matter. Yeah, we were looking for this to mark the low and then a final push up, and we did more or less get that. And so I would be looking for a relatively strong pullback, because in my eyes, for one, this does look impulsive, but we need to see a big pullback to the downside, which sets up a bigger move up. And it is very early for targets, because we haven't even potentially put in the top of this one here in the blue degree, and so until that happens, I can't really draw targets. There are a few ways to draw longer term targets, which I guess we can do while I have your attention. And there are 2 ways to do it. We can either measure as such, and these are, we'll be looking at levels between, these would be your wave 3 levels. If I zoom out a lot, it would be the 3 of this degree, and what is that? We call it like beige, right? Something like this. And this part's a bit hypothetical. There's lots of work to be done there. But if we go back, one way to draw it is like I just showed you, looking for a wave 3 high between 129.73 and 203.96. Another way to do it would be to count the whole thing as like a big contracting pattern, and that would give us slightly, it's more or less the same thing, but fuck. Come on, make it easy for me. Yeah, and then that would give us these targets between 135.5 and 209.7 for the big 3. But like, this is so far away, this doesn't really mean that much to me in the moment. I guess this 89.64 might be significant, but again, this is so far away, and I want to see structure begin to advance like I have shown here. But this is what we'd be looking for. And another pieces to, you know, aid our argument that we think this hit a bottom. And mind you, if it does clear 2189, I will have a much more long buy. It's not that I don't already, but we haven't necessarily killed the bear count yet, and so just want to be prepared. What am I looking for? I think, yeah, we'll just pull up RSI and go to a 4 hour. For one, we obviously have a breakout, and here's what we can look at. Because remember, this was, if you remember way back when on Twitter, I was saying, you know, 30-ish, like, you know, 32-ish, I think I was saying, before down to 22, and that happened, but obviously we kept selling. But you can see by here, right, this is obviously a clear trend break because RSI broke out as well, and this is not correct. It's hard to look at this and think this is corrective. It obviously it can be, but we just taking an unbiased view, which is pretty hard because I do own a lot of GameStop. It is hard to look at this and be bearish. Mind you, we are still expecting a pretty big pullback between this zone here, 2113 and 2191. It might go higher up to any of these, but we would still expect some sort of pullback. But like from a situational standpoint, it is pretty eerily similar to this type of positioning here. But you know, I've shown like this type of chart so many times, it doesn't really mean that much yet because we haven't even put in the 2 yet. But if it does go up and like we go something like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, then all of this is easy to, I guess, put on, not paper, but you know what I mean. It's easy to draw it out, but I don't even want to entertain this until I see in a clear, larger degree move up in 5 swings. And we might get that. I assume we will, just based off of what we've seen so far. But what I want to see first is a break above this 2189, followed by a relatively strong pullback, and I'm going to look to be buying that pullback. I was buying, you know, pretty much everywhere underneath this, around this, between like 18 and 15.5. I think I ended up getting something like 15.6, which is pretty good, but you know, yeah, that's really it. I mean, I don't really know what else there is to cover. I guess let's zoom out for a bit. This is how I have it counted. Where you have, and I remember at one point I was saying if we did lose 18.88, it just changes the structure to a larger correction, and this is one way to do it. Some people count it where you have A, B, and C. This probably I'm not even going to cover that. It doesn't really matter. But again, just from basic supply demand perspective, whatever, all these wicks are going to be like, let's go to like a chart that has a bunch more levels. I think it's this one. Yeah. Cleared up a little bit. So these are big zones. Like we might actually get all the way up to like 23-ish, but then, you know, just bear in mind, we are expecting a relatively strong pullback. And I mean, I want to buy it, but I'm just saying I want to see that happen because that's, in theory, what's going to set up a lot of this other move, which should, in theory, be on the horizon. And it looks like we're shaping up for it, but I feel like I'm just going to keep rambling if I don't really say much. But and the reason this is kind of like, I guess, bare bones today is because it's so early in trend where like there's not too much you can do besides just like talk about what's happened so far. And mind you, we do have a daily gap now, so keep an eye on this. We down here at 1777, and there is a gap because if you check the close at 1777, and then the low of the next day was 1786. So there is a 9-cent gap between 1777 and 1786. You can mark it like this. So this might be the pullback target when it happens. So let's just keep a close eye on that because that might well be it. But above 20, just to summarize it. If we get above 2189, I would more or less say that the better idea is killed for more downside. If I go to the chart that has like the really good, also the way this bottom here at 1565 is the way we draw. If this is 1, 2, this is 3 and 4. This is a wave 5 target down here, and so it is nice to see that was respected, followed by a sharp reversal. But we do have this gap, and so if this is 1. Expect 2 to come down to like 17.7-ish before more up. And, you know, hypothetically here, if it, you know, if we already have finished the top of the one and we do come back to 17.7, and this is completely hypothetical, right? It's probably going to be different than this, but let's say from here to 17.7, this sets up wave 3 between 23.47 and 27. That would be this, not final cut, that would be the 3 of this degree in the blue, like this. But right, this is just a basic structural view from what I would expect. But yeah, I think that's about it. All there really is to cover. Yeah, I could cover like SPY and stuff, but then this is going to turn into like a 20-30 minute video, and I don't want to do that today. So hopefully you found this somewhat informative, and if all goes as somewhat along the lines of what I've laid out, and we do get above 21.89 followed by a big sell-off, this sets up a pretty high confidence long that I am gonna do my best to take advantage of. But remember, nothing is guaranteed, so just tread with caution. Not much else to say. Okay, cool, thanks.